I do definitely believe there's a lot of life out there in the universe.
This is basically a guy, and there's 3 humans here, basically trying to make a warning, you know. He's saying, I've killed 3 humans, watch out for me.
The universe is just too big, you know, it goes on forever, like there must be something else.
Okay, now you see this is a problem, this is a gang sign. You see this?
The government noticed that they were moving into new areas. That's when things started to get out of hand.
Just go slowly. Oh my God.
I think the premise of the movie is really, you know, on one hand, it's aliens arriving in Johannesburg 30 years ago and being forced into this camp, which later becomes District 9. And our particular personal story follows a bureaucrat from the company that's tasked with managing these aliens. It follows him through a sequence of events that eventually finds him siding with the aliens and 180 degrees away from where he began.
Well, I play a character called Vickers van der Merwe. He's an Afrikaans bureaucrat, works at a big company, and doesn't really question what he does much, doesn't question his job. But part of his job is, although it's a desk job, you know, almost every day, 1 day a month, he kind of has to go into District 9, these where the creatures are kept, and serve notices on them.
Ah, you hear that? Yeah, it's hollow there. See, look at that. Look at that. I haven't seen this type of setup. It's almost like a chemistry type of a set. There's gonna be some. Yeah, I don't know. This has got the markings there of so it's definitely alien, but it's not a weapon.
The reason I chose the style of photography that we employed was because the front and foremost thing that I was interested in was science fiction that felt as real as possible and as grounded as possible. So I thought that if I could incorporate documentary footage and news footage and everything that we associate with reality, but show fiction through this lens that we associate with reality, then the audience would be lulled into kind of feeling like this was a more real experience than it actually is. And then I used some cinematic, you know, filmmaking techniques as well. So it's a hybrid of the two.
Now, to everyone's surprise, the ship didn't come to a stopover at Manhattan or Washington or Chicago, but it instead coasted to a halt directly over the city of Johannesburg. The doors didn't open for 3 months. It just hovered there. Nobody could get in. And they eventually decided, after much deliberation, that the best thing to do would be to physically cut their way in.
We really did work hard, and it was a very demanding environment to work in. But I think it brought, because it was a real slum and everything was real that you see in the film. And I think that certainly made it easier for me to play the character.
Ultimately, the main genre would probably have to be science fiction if you had to put it into one category. But there's a lot of satirical kind of humor on one side, there's just pure action on another side. And then, I mean, at the core of it is really just an emotional story about a guy who's coming apart, really.
Why are you here? Why don't you just leave?